Hello. Okay, so this is gonna be part two of investigations. Uh, yeah, let's just jump right into it after I test my audio. I don't know how the VOD's gonna look like on YouTube because I use the same stream key, but I renamed the stream differently. I wonder if it'll put like two different um, VODs or use the same one. We'll see. Okay, so last where we left off, we were done investigating the room. Then now we're outside. This means your professionalism, detective. I'm gonna find some real solid evidence proving Maggie's innocence. You'll see, sir. Wait, I need to test the music audio. Okay, no, it sounds okay. Sorry, I need to do something super quick. Yeah. All right. Bird. Maggie Bird. Looks like my life's falling into yet another gigantic ditch. Do not despair, Mrs. Bird. We can overcome this as well. There are many other places and things we should be looking into anyway. Really, sir? For example, this hallway. The linchpin of this argument against Mrs. Bird is related to the master key. In that case, this hallway is always a perfect place to look for more information. Regarding to the mystery surrounding my door. Okay. The air's super humid for me right now because it's raining. Give me a... Okay. I'm confirmed with this. This is like a dream. A dream where I'm winging me cross examined by the Miles Edgeworth. I can't let this chance pass me by. I must remember to ask her about the master key. I should jog her memory by showing my nose to her with why. There's a master key to every office in the building. So when Dejo discovered the master key was missing, by the time he realized, I think it was around 1 AM, sir. and I noticed it was back at around 2:30 a.m. I was just sitting there on the ledge where the security room's reception window is. But I'm sure that between those two times, it was not just gone but stolen, sir. Why is such an important key stored in such an insecure place? It's not like that, sir. Always keep the key further into the room away from the window. Oh, always, you say? Except for this time, correct? Well, I admit I was a bit careless, but I had my reasons. I left it out because I was sorta using it at the time. It was after I had used it... It was after I had used it that I left it sitting out on the ledge. So you used the master key? Can we not ask her what she used it for? I'm just a lowly security guard, so I'm not sure what I should do with other than guard it. I guess I'll just present her everything. Have you ever met the victim before? Well, I've seen him a couple of times before I had to go to Mrs. Sportsman's office. Shit, I should have filled my water bottle before I started streaming. Oh well, I have my coffee. Mr. Faith was always playing basketball with Mr. Portsman, sir. That sounds like fun. Just once, I'd have loved to play with him. Sounds fun, but the only person ever taking a shot was Mr. Portsman. All Mr. Faith ever did was pass him the ball, sir. On second thought, I don't think I'd have fit in at all well with them. Miss Maggie Bird, correct? I take it that you're an acquaintance of the detective? She was under my supervision back when she was still on the force, sir. One day, she got caught in a murder and things started going downhill, so she quit. But I owe a lot to Detective Gumshoe for introducing me to my current employer. Yeah, I believe her case was in Ace Attorney Phoenix Wright 1 or 2. It was one of the two. Because I remember playing her case. And I only played the first two games, so I thought until a few hours ago, right before I was about to clock out for the night. You got caught up in this whirlwind of a case, correct? Don't worry, my whole life has been nothing but a whirlwind of bad luck and failures. Since I was 6 months old, I fell from the 9th floor of my apartment building. I've been hit by all sorts of vehicles, gotten sick for all sorts of food, failed at almost every test I've taken, experienced almost every kind of disaster. But now, I've even managed to be named a criminal, just when I've become a security guard. That's a lot to go through in one lifetime. I know. And just when I thought I'd finally found my happiness, I wind up getting you and Detective Gumshoe involved in my bad luck. No need to worry about me, Mrs. Bird, nor do you need to worry about yourself. I will solve this case and prove your innocence. All I ask in return is for your cooperation. Yes, sir, Mr. Edgeworth, you can count on me. I'll do all I can to help. Use the master key. What did you mean by you use the master key? Oh, I had to use it to open the door for this prosecutor who had forgotten his key. I mean, it's my job as a security guard, right? Ah, what is it? That's right, I just remembered. The prosecutor who forgot his key, it was Mr. Portsman, sir. What? Please tell me more, Mrs. Bird, quickly. It was around 12 a.m. Mr. Portsman has forgotten his office key, so he came down to security, sir. And that's when you loaned the master key to him? No way, it's against regulations to loan the master key out to anyone. I walked with Mr. Portsman to his office and opened the door for him personally, sir. I see. And then, what happened after that? Well, he called for me to come close up to his office as he was leaving to go home. Well, he called for me to come close up his office as he was leaving to go home, okay. That was around 1:30 a.m. I think. So in summary, for the sake of one forgetful prosecutor, you used the master key twice tonight. I thought you can say that you've never left your keys at home, detective. I think this calls for a thorough examination of Mr. Portsman's door. Hey, basketball. Can I play with it? What is a basketball doing here? That's Mr. Portsman's prized possession, sir. I heard he also plays soccer, dodgeball, and even tennis. And not a single one of those sports is suitable to be played in a hallway. Why is a fucking hoop there? I want the rest and self-inspected every looking nook and cranny. I mean, there's my file there. It's... isn't that the missing 0 series file, sir? No doubt about it. The bloody letters mark it clear as day. There seems to be a few pages missing. Our thief only took what was necessary and left the rest behind. So what are these 0 files about, sir? I guess they've got something worth selling in them, huh? Not particularly. They're just a collection of court case files, however. The cases within these files are not mine. Oh? They belong to the High Prosecutor that used to occupy my current office. I have my reasons, but let's just say I was charged with keeping them as they were. And that means the thief must have also wanted the file for a specific reason, right? It would seem so. Only the pages related to that case from 10 years ago are missing. I wonder why anyone would care about such an old case. A well-crafted, high-quality sofa for visitors. The stitching is excellent. Talk about a luxury wedding area. These babies are also great for napping, you know? You will sleep even out there, detective? In the hallway? Whenever I do, I always wind up dreaming about giving testimony up on the stand. But it always ends the same way, me getting trounced by a lawyer. Isn't that awful? Maybe I should give it a try sometime, to envision myself winning naturally. I bet the thief's not under here. I'd be real impressed. I want rest and service with nook and cranny. 1202. These 4 numbers on the number plate alone proclaim this to be my office. Whoops. Hey, these number plates slide right out, sir. They have to be able to take the plate off when a room becomes vacant, you know? Although, the idea that it can be so easily removed is kind of... Yeah, so he could have just slid the thing off, opened this door, which is Edgeworth's office, claimed it as his. A minimalist yet classy door made of top quality wood. It's sturdily made, making it near impossible to break in by force. It's almost majestic, sir. I wish I could be as stately as this door. Only Gumshoe would praise the door as something greater than himself. Being a detective has its own rewards, and a certain virtuous value, I think. If you live up to your full potential, that's a poignant trait that anyone can admire. I see, so you're saying, sir, that me being me is the best thing I can do for everyone? Right. That pause wasn't exactly reassuring, sir. So I probably know how he did it. I don't see any signs of forced entry, and according to our guard, no signs that the lock was picked either, sir. Meaning that the door really was opening with a key. Did you happen to ask if any prints were lifted from the doorknob? Apparently the doorknob's clean as a whistle. Wiped, they think. Whoever this thief is, they did a good job of not leaving any clues behind. Fuck. It looks like you're in quite a pinch, Mr. Edgeworth. To be sure, a murder within the walls of the prosecutor's office is no trifling matter. We must find, apprehend, and punish the killer accordingly post haste. Sounds like... Let's just do that. Sounds like a messy case you've got in your hands. If you ever feel lost or need some advice, my door is always open. How gracious. I will keep your offer in mind. Who's this guy again? Is everything alright? Yes, sir. If you must know, I weighed myself this morning and I'm finally at 154 pounds. Congratulations, but I was asking about this hallway and this room. Oh, everything's okay, sir. A word of advice. Stay focused or you may start to lose even more weight. What is a basketball hoop doing here? Hey, didn't this used to be outside next to the building a long time ago? So when and why was it moved indoors? I don't remember exactly, but I saw one of the officers drag it up here recently. Drag it? I heard that it wouldn't fit in the elevator, so the poor guy had to bring it himself. All the way up to the 12th floor? It's Mr. Portson's personal basketball hoop. I can't believe he put something like this in the hallway of a prosecutor's office. But you know, it's actually pretty useful, sir. I haven't gotten lost trying to get to your office since it's been here. How long have I been in the same office and yet you still managed to get lost? Room 1203. I take it that is Mr. Portsman's office. Yeah, you can't mistake it because of that basketball hoop, sir. Oh, that reminds me, Mr. Portsman had actually wanted room 1202 really badly. But since you were already occupying it, sir, Mr. Edgeworth... but since you were already occupying it, Mr. Edgeworth, we put him next door, sir. So why was Mr. Portsman so particular about getting to room 1202? I'm not sure, but I bet it's because something like his birthday is December 2nd? Yep, that's gotta be it. I can't think of another reason why. I can't think of at least 3, bah. Why am I even wasting time thinking about this? Even Mr. Portsman seems different just because he wears one of those nonsense. A man doesn't become more or less dignified because of where he works. Oh, he still seems more dignified than Mr. Payne. Mr. Payne? I suppose custodial work can also be dignified. I don't know who that is. The door is locked tightly. Hehehe. I bet the old credit card trick wouldn't work here, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? This is the office of a high prosecutor, detective. These doors would be pretty ineffective if the average cat burglar could get through them. Aha! So I guess only a great cat burglar could get in. That must be who our culprit is. Might I advise you to return that conclusion to whatever pawn shop you bought it from. That seems to be it. Yeah. However, the master key had already been stolen at that time. Wow, nothing gets by you, Mr. Edgeworth. You saw a contradiction like a pro. I totally forgotten about that, but thanks to you, I remember it now. You're right, it was around the very time that I realized the master key was missing. And? Well, I'm a security guard, sir. I couldn't just admit to losing the master key, could I? So I pretended to lock up his room, sir. You pretended? Yeah. I used my house key and made it look like I was locking it up, sir. So naturally, you never did relock the door then. Well, I thought that maybe I could go lock it after I found the key. Come to think of it, I guess the door still hasn't been locked properly. Mr. Portsman's office did jotted down in my organizer. You'll shelves upon shelves of sports memorabilia, trophies, and awards in it, to the point where it's almost beyond gaudy, sir. But maybe I just feel that way because I'm jealous and still don't have a single one. I'll say that, Maggie. I'll make a special Guard of the Month award just for you. Thank you. Thanks for trying, but I've already gotten a mountain of consolation prizes, sir. They're proof of just how unbelievably lucky my life has been. Plus, getting an award from you just isn't the same as getting a real award, sir. No, that if what Mrs. Bird has said is true, then why is this door locked tight? Huh? You know, you're right. Miss Bird, are you sure you didn't relock this door? I am certain of it, sir. And I don't think Mr. Portsman noticed it himself that I hadn't. Which means, what, sir? It either means that he actually does have the key to his office, or that the door Mrs. Bird opened wasn't this one at all, but a completely different one. She opened a different door? But how can you prove that? There's an easy way to find out. All we need to do is need to examine these. The prints of the number plate. They will tell us all we need to know. Everything, really. Like what, sir? Well, shit. It's not that. I guess the master key. If we examine the fingerprints on the master key. Jesus Christ. Okay, so it was the doorknob, but hold on, okay. Sir, I have only found Mr. Portsman and Mr. Faith's prints on this doorknob. So only 2 people's fingerprints were found on this, huh? That's pretty decisive. Huh? I'm lost, sir. Thinking logically, a certain other person's print should be on this doorknob as well. That is Maggie. Take that! Don't you find it odd that the prints of the person who unlocked this door are absent? You mean... Yes. The door that Mrs. Bird opened could not have been on this one, but a different one. Huh? What have we here? What is this? Looks like a scrap of paper. I'll get it, sir. Let's see. Oh, there was something written on it. I bought the 3 pieces of evidence by, just like we talked about on the phone. It looks like you're out. Guess I'll catch up to you later, buddy. Yeah, and it's from Mr. Portsman. Note left by the victim did. Basketball, soccer, dodgeball, tennis. Oh, hey, how about a game? No. Yeah. Alright, sir. I guess it shifted when someone made a seriously sweet slam dunk. The positioning of the hoop is definitely unnatural. I better take note of this. As long as my logic is sound, then yes. The mastermind behind this murder is none other than Mr. Portsman. What? Mr. Portsman? I knew it. That's exactly what my logic senses were telling me too. I suspected it was him from the instant he accused Maggie of being the killer, sir. I'm really fumbling when I'm reading. I think I haven't read out loud in so long. That is anything but logical. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourselves. Come what may, it's time to knock on Truth's door. Mr. Portsman, I finished processing the bloody letter, sir. Alright, let me take a gander at it. Pass it here. Oh, look, okay, looking good. You there, take a good care of this. Well, if it isn't Detective Gumshoe. End of the line for you, Portsman. We've got you now. Call off your dog, Mr. Edgeworth. Is this some kind of joke? It's no joke. We know, Mr. Jacques Portsman, that you are the guilty party of this case. You must be pretty upset getting chased out of your own room. I'd be mad too. So I guess you can stay if you compromise to stay out of this. If you promise to stay out of her way. You intend to hide your crime under the guise of a prosecutor doing his job? I can see right through the unsightly paper-thin mask you wear upon your cowl. Haha. Who'd have ever thought it would come to this? Actually, come to think of it, your mentor was Manfred von Karma, right? The legendary prosecutor who never lost a single case for 40 long years. But there was always this incessant chatter about forged evidence with that guy. Really teaches me that I've got to stay on the lookout for false accusation, you know. Are you done trying to play mind games with me? Because they won't work. The only thing you should be using that mouth of yours for now is explaining yourself. Although that too will dig your hole deeper. Either way, your game is up. Well, aren't we full of ourselves, even though you have yet to prove anything? I have no idea what sort of harebrained idea you have in mind, but there's a mountain of evidence that points away from me being the culprit. Besides, how, may I ask, you proposed I unlocked your door and got in here? Look, I feel bad doing this to you, but I've got work to do, so we're done here. Sorry, but we're not finished yet. Boy, you're stubborn. I suppose you're basing your accusation on something. I'll show you what I'm basing my accusation on, with evidence.
Hold it!
My accusation is of a harebrained idea, is it? You tell me. I'd say it is after all. There's a mountain.
Hold it!
Jim was murdered, so I can't say I had a motive for killing him. And what, pray tell, kind of evidence are we talking about here? And that's it? That's not even an anthill, let alone a mountain. It's more than enough, but it's more than enough, wouldn't you agree? Might I recommend you review the word of evidence? What the word of evidence means. It doesn't change the fact that the evidence doesn't point to me as the killer.
Hold it!
Unfortunately, I believe I have already shown how earlier. Your speculations means nothing, as I still insist that I could not gain access to your room. You claim to have had no way to open my door. However, is that really the honest truth? Very well. I propose that you use this to open my door. The master key.
Take that!
I believe you were able to open my office door with the master key, no less.
Objection!
Wait. Hold on for a second. I never laid on the finger on that key, as you already know. Precisely. You were able to open my door without lifting a single finger. Well, maybe you did, but only to direct. That's right. You used your finger to direct this person to open my door with a key.
Take that!
You had asked Miss Bird to open your own office door. Were you, yes? Yeah, I've kind of forgot my key at home. Happens a bit too often for my taste, you know. But The room you had Miss Bird open at the time was not your own, was it? What? You have quite the imagination. But why don't we ask the girl herself whose door she opened? I'm certain that it was Mr. Portsmouth's door, sir. I checked the number plate to make sure it was open. I was opening the right door, sir. See? Miss Bird backs up my story. Yet, what if you had message? Yet, what if you had misled her to fool her into thinking that what you wanted? Ah, and how do you suppose I did that? By switching the number plates on her doors, for example. That's right, they do slide out pretty easily. Furthermore, you didn't use one other thing to give a very strong impression that the door she was opening was yours and not, in fact, mine. The basketball hoop. Where there is.
Take that!
It's quite a peculiar fixture in any hallway, let alone a hallway in this building. Which is why it left an unusually strong impression on you. It's an object perfectly suited to sit just outside the office of a peculiar persecutor. That's very true, sir, because there was a basketball hoop sitting there. I thought the door was opening had to be Mr. Portsmouth. There are signs that the hoop have been moved. So sit it in front of my office to be sure. I see, so that's how you throw suspicion on people. Thanks for the tip. But I think your conjecture is a little off the racetrack. Now you're just spouting nonsense. I had the girl open my office door. After that, I was in my room the entire time. You don't have a single reason to suspect me. Yeah, I do. I'm as pure and as innocent as my jacket. And Miss Bird is as dirty and guilty of the jacket she wears. My jacket is not dirty now, you know. I just washed it yesterday. Please calm down, for I intend to show who is the one who truly covered in slime here.
Hold it!
Nonsense, you say? Yes, because I'm showing you the truth here.
Hold it!
Is it Master Key? Of course. Sure, you have a problem with that? That is what the Master Key is for, right? After that, I was in my room the entire time.
Hold it!
And what were you doing in your office? I was in my usual training regimen. Training regimen? Were you going through your law books from start to finish? Maybe batting practice, some weights. Oh, and I jog when I get the chance. The weakest legal muscle, it would seem.
Hold it!
I think I've given you quite a few reasons, actually. But none of those would stand up on their own.
Objection!
Then what about all the evidence?
Objection!
It's all circumstantial. No judge would convict on such flimsy evidence. Can I present the fingerprints?
Objection!
I had your door dusted for prints. My door? Ha! What for? Come on, I bet you didn't find anything. You sure are good at wasting time. Yeah, right. I didn't find anything, and definitely not Miss Bird's fingerprints. Her prints. What do they have to do with anything? Let's put it this way. If she really was the one who opened your door, then her print should naturally be on your doorknob. On the doorknob she touched. Further, all the prints on my office doorknobs have been wiped clean off. I can only assume it's because Mrs. Bird's fingerprints were on it.
Objection!
But it doesn't change the fact that I was in my room the entire time. Is that real a fact? Or is it fiction? Hey, what? Would I lie to you? I have here proof that you were not in your office the entire time as you claim.
Take that!
This is a note that the victim left for you, Mr. Portsman. A note? It was left under your door. Or did you not notice? And right here it says, but you're out. You were not in your room when the victim came to con you. So then, where were you and what were you doing? Don't you think it's time you gave up on your charade? No, you stole into my office with the intent of stealing something from me. And Detective Faith found you out. Possibly because he heard sounds coming from a room whose occupant was on leave. Mr. Portsman, you killed Mr. Faith to silence him. And I had the misfortune to return when you did. When I did, you had to threaten me as you escaped. As I said when you had the gun on to my back, no one gets away with committing murder in my office. There's nothing else like it in the world. What? Mr. Edgeworth just explained it all, and he even backed it up. You're the murderer. Stop trying to be slippery and just admit to the crime already. And as I said earlier, it's all circumstantial, so full of conjecture. You say you checked my doorknob for prints? Well, I can readily confess that I had wiped that knob down well. Eh? I'm a little obsessive compulsive, you see. I didn't want to touch a doorknob that you had touched. Which is why I wiped the knob down as soon as I could after you opened the door. After that, it makes perfect sense that only Jim's and my own prints would be on there. You made that up just now, didn't you? Furthermore, as for the note Jim left for me, do you know exactly when that was? For all we know, he could have left it there before I arrived at the office. Like, early evening, for example. Are you saying you failed to notice the note in your doorway? Hey, even geniuses fail at times. I was probably too preoccupied by work-related matters, although that's no excuse. Now, this is a flat-out lie. There's no way you didn't notice a note that size. You can't prove that, can you? Say something, Mr. Edgeworth. Back me up here, sir. Besides, I have an airtight alibi. Airtight, you say? I only just realized I had one as we were talking. I guess it would have been better for all of us if I had told you sooner. If memory serves, you came back to this office at around 2 AM, correct? And it was then that you had the unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit. But at exactly that time, I was down in criminal affairs. Ask around. I'm sure the other detectives will corroborate my story. Is that perfect alibi? Do you really think it's that perfect? Like I said, I don't care. Ask around all you like. You see it for yourself. Detective Genshu. Yes, sir. I'll go check his alibi, sir. I'll be back. I think we're in trouble. It's just like Mr. Portsman said. The guys down on criminal affairs said you saw him around 2 AM. You see? All of the evidence points to him being the culprit, so there must be a contradictory point in his alibi somewhere. Is there any evidence I hadn't used yet? If memory serves, you can. Yeah.
Hold it! Hold it!
The only one who claims to have bumped into the culprit. So tell me, did you see the person's face? Was it me who you saw? It was pitch black, so I couldn't really actually see. Oh, come now. I'm sure you saw something. Try a little harder, why don't you? I'm sorry. I need to be right back. I'm sorry, I'm back. My dog was super scared. I thought something happened, but nah, it's probably just because it's raining too hard and he got scared of the thunder or something. It only matters that you ran into the culprit. But exactly at that time, I was down in criminal affairs.
Hold it!
So paid the criminal affairs department a visit. Yep, right after I left the prosecutor's building, I headed straight into the precinct. Ask around, I'm sure it's
Hold it!
a perfect alibi. See, I have the perfect alibi. You there. Please escort the young lady out, but remember, be gentle. Thank you. Is there nothing I can do? There must be a way to turn this situation around. If only I had a clue. Did I miss something that can help me cast a doubt on his alibi? I need to calmly think this through one more time, and with logic. The intruder I met could not have been Mr. Portsman. Then who could it have been? Other than the victim's gun that I found. Could there be another gun in play here? I arranged my files twice. What? Maybe Portsman alibi and the handgun. There were 2 bullets left at the scene of the crime. Cream? One that robbed Mr. Faith of his life. And one that nearly robbed me one of my jacket. However, the murder weapon only shows sign of being fired once, meaning that it's entirely possible that a second gun was used in my office tonight. But seeing as how the killer had to steal Mr. Faith's gun, I doubt the killer had another gun up their sleeve. Therefore, the second gun could have been the property of an entirely different person, which could mean that there was another person who paid a visit to my office tonight. Supposing there was yet another visitor tonight, that would also resolve the issue of why my shells were upended twice. We know that the shells were disturbed once before and once after the murder, so it shouldn't be much of a stretch to think that it was the work of 2 different people. Once by the person who stole the victim's gun and then killed him with it, and once again after the murder by our second culprit was the owner of the second gun. If we suppose that the second culprit's gun was the one that was pointed at my back.
Objection!
Mr. Portsman, it seems that I need to amend my assumption regarding this case. Great, so you finally come to your senses. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, what are you saying? This has been a big misunderstanding on my part from the start. I had assumed that the person I ran into was the killer, but that may not have been the case. What do you mean? The person I ran into was just your average thief. A thief? But sir, doesn't that cause some sort of contradiction with whoa. I can't read, I'm sorry, I need to restart. A thief? But sir, doesn't that cause some sort of contradiction in the facts? Not at all. It simply means that a killer was someone else. And it means that in actuality, 2 culprits stole into my office tonight. What do you mean 2? It explains both why my shells were disturbed twice and how there were 2 guns. Mr. Portsman's tricked Miss Burden gained entry into my office. Now you're just leading the argument. You still don't have any actual proof, you know? If you could please go along with my hypothetical scenario for now, Mr. Portsman. In the end, if you really are innocent, you should have nothing to worry about. Now then, returning to my scenario, if Mr. Portsman was out to steal something from me, which is why he checked my secret safe and ransacked my shelves, this is the first time. So then, this would be when the files were put back in the wrong order, right? Correct. And then, just when he was about to look somewhere else, who should walk in? Look somewhere else? Who should walk in but his own partner, Mr. Faith? But why did Mr. Faith come into your room, sir? He probably had business with Mr. Portsman. Which is why he was in the area. That's when he noticed sounds coming from my office, would be my guess. Oh, because we were supposed to be away, right? And he must have thought it was odd, so he came into this office to check it out. Correct. And as a detective, that was the right thing to do. But when he came in, he found his own partner standing there. Because it was Mr. Portsman. Mr. Faith probably let his guard down. But Mr. Portsman was not so merciful as to let him leave alive. He waited for a chance and stole Mr. Faith's gun from him and bang. He killed him. He silenced Mr. Faith for catching him in the act of stealing. This was the moment in which the first shot was fired, the one that landed in my shells. Following that, Mr. Portsman wiped the gun down and left it behind as he made his exit. He could afford to do that because he had also left the fake dying message behind. You're such a complicated troublemaker, you know that? Well, if things were as simple as that, then all would be solved. However, there was yet another visitor to my room, and this is where it gets complicated. There was another visitor, sir. Yes, and this other person's objective was also to steal something from me. Now then, even after Mr. Portsman left, the door to my office remained unlocked. However, this new visitor had no way of knowing that, and so they stole the master key from the security guard's room, and then entered my room and searched through my shelves. This was the second time they were disturbed, and it seems the thief found their prize, the stolen zero file, right, sir? Correct. Only just as the thief was about to leave with the file, I appeared. The thief then threatened me with their own gun and made their escape. The second bullet was fired during that brief encounter. So the shells getting messed up twice and the two bullets, it was all because two different people were doing those things at two different times. Precisely. So now do you see, Mr. Portsman? The person I met was just a thief and not, in fact, Mr. Faith's killer. Your alibi for the time frame in which I ran into the other person is now irrelevant. Because we now know that the murder took place during the first of culprit's visit. You know, I should understand the fact that it's all circumstantial. Supposing if, and that's a big if, your theory is right, it would indeed render my alibi, which has withstood scrutiny, mind you, irrelevant. But there is still one defining point to your argument, for which you have no evidence. Your supposition is that I was the first visitor. But he has a point. I have absolutely no proof at this point. You know something? I find your attitude to be somewhat peculiar, Mr. Edgeworth. If the person you met really was just a plain old thief, then why is that person not your main suspect? That is, if your theory is correct. Why the music just switched like that? That thief you run into should be your real suspect, wouldn't you say? We should be out there looking for that thief right now. They might still be nearby. I hate to repeat myself, but as I've already said, I was in my training room. I was training in my room when Jim came to deliver the evidence to me. I was down in criminal affairs, so I can't be expected to know what happened around here after I left. Do you think we should be out there looking for the thief? Of course. Now isn't the time to be having these dead-end discussions. I don't think it's at all dead-end. I find your alibi to be fascinating. Let's continue where we left off, shall we? I know he's lying. I know he was here at the scene of the crime. Just had to find a way to prove it. Don't have an evidence I haven't used yet. I don't think so. That thief that you ran into should be a resist.
Hold it!
Let's see. The dang message, of course. Mr. Faith's killer very clearly left those letters on this one of those files. And it was after they were on there that the thief stole one of them. You mean the 0 files, right? And that's how we also know the letters themselves were set up, and not for Mr. Faith. If the thief was the killer, do you think they would try to undermine themselves? Maybe the killer just didn't think of that earlier either. Must be, maybe just maybe. You should be out here.
Hold it!
Once escaped, I highly doubt a thief would linger nearby. Well, you never know. Maybe they didn't get what they were really after. Or do anything after all.
Hold it!
But according to Mr. Faith, it's his note. If you show proof that I left in for time. I don't have any now. I went to...
Hold it!
Why didn't you get there with Mr. Faith? Ah, that's because he said he was tired and was going to take a quick nap. You know, those sofas in the hallway, he likes to sleep on those. It's one of his habits. And what of the evidence he brought? There were things related to yesterday's case, just 2 items, a gun and a pendant. Interesting. This piece of testimony seems crucial to let slip through the cracks. Yeah, the note says 3.
Hold it!
A gun and a pendant. Yes, a gun which was a murder weapon, and this pendant, which belonged to the victim. And why were you taking them to criminal affairs? There was something in the past case file I went to compare to these two. But this was all nothing to do with this case right now.
Objection!
Only 2 pieces. I believe the proper phrase here is, you fail. Excuse me? You fail as a prosecutor, Mr. Portsman, as you intend to keep evidence hidden from me. What are you talking about? I haven't hidden anything from you. Well, there's a piece I think you should read carefully. So Mr. Faith is bringing 3 pieces. You tripped up by simple arithmetic. Where is the missing piece of evidence? You have it, don't you? Only the guilty would make such a face. Detective Gumshoe. You know how it says it, sir. I'll pat the guy down for head to toe. No. What's this? He had this on him, sir. Despite what you said, it would appear that you do have something to hide. But why would he hide something like that? There's only one reason why anyone would have evidence of this caliber. Because it would unequivocally point to that person himself as the real killer. Let's examine this videotape in a little more detail. The section of the tape will... Why? Huh? Ah, that's blood, isn't it? Yes, and I believe this is what the good prosecutor was trying to hide from us. This blood is still fresh. You mean this might be Detective Faith's blood? No, you've got it all wrong. No amount of denial can save you. We have but to run a blood test to find the truth. You told us that you had to receive evidence from the victim earlier. Now, you will tell us when and how did the victim's blood find its way onto this video? Was it at the moment of his death? The Detective Faith had this videotape on his personage when you killed him. You know very well there's no way to prove that. And even if we were to examine this tape for fingerprints, if I had to take a guess, I'd have to say the only ones here would belong to the murderers and you, Mr. Faith. The murderers, you and Mr. Faith. Jesus Christ, he just ate the whole metal. Very good. Impressed beyond words, sir. It's nothing. I'm just sorry you got caught up in murder in my office. Please accept my apologies. Oh, it was nothing, really. Compared to what I've been through, I mean. Consider myself lucky I was only a burglar and murder this time, sir. If it had been a hold-up, a hostage situation, I would have thrown my hands up in the air. Yeah, I'm finally rising up for a god of misfortunes, just an unlucky person. Something tells me we should have hired a different person for security detail. You know something, sir, that Mr. Boardsman really was one corrupt prosecutor. Why would you say he was corrupt? Well, I heard they were a murderer. I heard there were a number of suspicious things related to his court cases. There's even rumors about how some of the evidence he uses is forged, sir. Jesus Christ. There's even rumors about how some of the evidence he uses is forged, sir. Forged evidence, huh? And they say he even decided not to prosecute a few cases for some really vague reasons. That guy was a complete disgrace to the entire profession. I never did get around asking what his reason was breaking into my office. Yeah. Whenever we got near that topic, he just climbed up. There's rumor that some sort of huge organization is involved behind this case. Is involved behind the scenes. Seems that we haven't heard the last of this. I didn't say that, but there's still many more mysteries for us to solve. For example, we haven't figured out the evidence.
Take that!
The person who stole this file, the other villain of the night. I wonder, who in the world was it that held me up at gunpoint? Mr. Edgeworth, sir? Yes? I came across this while processing your office earlier, sir. This card. What is it, sir? Is that a bird or something on there? It's not just any bird. It's the mark of the raven. A three-legged raven. Even you should know what this is, detective. The thing, isn't it the great thief everyone's talking about? Yes, it is the mark of the great thief, Yatagarasu. The mark of the legendary bird, the Yatagarasu, is noble to the end. A modern Robin Hood. Labeled mysterious and phantom-like, the Yatagarasu appears and vanishes at will. But we don't know how much this thief's ultimate goal. We do know the targets. The Yatagarasu's like the Yatagarasu likes to find and make public evidence of corrupt dealings of all sorts. The theft is always performed in silence and always with perfection. Once a target is chosen, no dramatic calling card or announcement is sent forth. Instead, the chosen corporation is infiltrated without even the target noticing. Some days later, the evidence that was found is sent out to the mass media, along with a single card. Although it has been a while since the Yatagarasu's last appearance. Let me see. Is the location of where the thief put the stolen files. So the person who stole the content of the file was the Yatagarasu. Got a few words of bumping on this mystery. The murder in my office. The return of the great thief Yatagarasu. Looking back, I can't say it. I can say I didn't see these events coming. For they were heralded by the incidents that began to occur 2 days ago. The end. That's the end of case number 1. I'll take a little break before I start case number 2. I need to get some water. I'll be right back. Hey, so I'm back. Let's continue. So, episode 2, Turnabout Airlines. Here we go. Thinking about everything began on that fateful day 2 days ago. Yes. Yeah, boy, I did censor it. Thank you for flying Go Airlines. We are currently experiencing some slight turbulence. We're asking all passengers please return to their seats and fasten their seatbelts. Oh boy. 1 second. Oh boy. Uh, yeah, I'm doing something super quick, hopefully. Yeah. Honestly. Of course. Those. Yeah. Where was I? Oh boy. Okay. Why do I feel like I just woke up from a horrible nightmare? $6:13, huh? I guess I was off code for about 10 minutes. Ha, slight turbulence indeed. Now, admittedly, I'm less than comfortable with anything resembling earthquakes. Oh. What's this? A travel wallet, but it's not mine. Why did someone else's travel wallet wind up in my pocket? My head. What? Why won't this headache go away? Secure this travel wallet later, or hand it off to an attendant. Mythic like turbulence just to elevator. Why am I hesitating like this? Actually, I know full well why I hesitate. It was when I was still but a young child. I was caught up in a murder that happened in an elevator. How long am I going to let my past haunt me? It's just an elevator. I'm a grown man now. I need to behave like one. What the? What in the world happened? Is there something wrong, sir? I must ask you to return to your seat. Eek. He is dead. Please calm down. We mustn't jump to conclusion without all the facts. What's wrong? Did something happen? You murderer. Oh, you have it all wrong. It wasn't me. March 12th, 6:41 a.m. Flight G390, second floor, first class. Everyone, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I have an important announcement. I'm one of your flight attendants today, Rhoda Tenero. Fortunately, we had just had a minor accident on this flight. An accident? Don't treat us like we're stupid. I caught a glimpse, and it was a murder. What murder? What's going on this flight? Everyone, please calm down. There's no reason to panic. This flight was still on course and will make a scheduled land. We are still currently in the middle of a rough patch of turbulence. So, until we're out of this area of turbulence, I ask that you please remain seated. If someone's killed, right? I mean, what about the killer? Let me off. Please, there's no need to feel threatened. We have already apprehended the culprit. I ask that everyone please remain calm. What the heck is he talking about? Why should we remain calm? My name is Miles Edgeworth. I'm a prosecutor, and I assure you I'm not the killer. Being a prosecutor doesn't make you incapable of murder, buddy. Now you listen here. I am not the killer. I simply found the body. So you say, however. I'm sure that you're the perpetrator of this crime. I swear on my honor as a professional flight attendant. Oh, is that right? I know what I saw. There's even strong incriminating evidence to back me up. What kind of incriminating evidence is she talking about? We've already alerted the proper authorities at our destination. Till we land, you will remain in our custody by the power vested in our captain. I'm very sorry, but please understand our situation. Your situation, I'm more concerned with mine than the direction it's going in. I'm not about to say idly what I get accused of murder. Miss Tenero, is it? Yes? I was wondering if you might give me a chance. A chance to do what? A chance to plead my case. And a chance to ask what you meant by incriminating evidence just now. To accuse a passenger of such a grave crime without allowing him to give a proper defense. Can the professional flight attendant decide you really call this action righteous? You have a point. Alright, well, I'll listen to what you have to say. But beware of what you reveal. I'm afraid you'll only look even more suspicious if your explanation fails to satisfy. I also do not have the time to deal with you all day, so please make it quick. Of course, as you wish. Good, very well, let's get started. I know for a fact that I didn't kill the man in the elevator. But I don't know what sort of evidence she has up her sleeve, but I'm certain it doesn't fit with how the crime really occurred. What? Well, what Miss Tenero saw. I swear to tell the whole truth as a professional flight attendant. Unfortunately for you, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm certain you were the killer. The scene I saw in front of the elevator. It was you standing there with fresh blood dripping off of the murder weapon. So if you would please cooperate, we'll turn you over just as soon as we land. That's it? That's our evidence? I don't think you guys for a more perfect witness testimony. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Edgeworth? Not really. It's hardly perfect when there's a gaping hole in it. What Mr. Nero saw.
Hold it!
Tell me, what exactly puts the pro in professional flight attendant for you? Very professional about how we take care of our passengers. Service like fetching paper and responding to calls are done with speed and accuracy. I can assure you that I give testimonies with the same level of professionalism. But I'm sure you have already realized that by now, right? It's a bit hard to appreciate professionalism when I'm under the one under suspicion. And there you have it. My professional testimony is accurate and reliable.
Hold it!
You certainly seem sure of yourself. Of course, a professional flight attendant can't afford to make mistakes after all. Perhaps, but you must admit there are few who can look at a murder with clear mind. We attendants all go through extensive training and always calm and collected. Leave and call me sir with your coffee if you wish, as the plane takes a splashdown. We are there to serve the passengers.
Hold it!
The murder weapon dripping with blood really now. I swear it was a grisly scene I saw before me. Thank goodness I wasn't a passenger who saw, or there'd be widespread panic by now. As I recall, you were quite panicked yourself at the time. Excuse me? You were scared enough to misread the situation that gives me another nonsense professional. Not for it to be that flustered. And now I'm listening to your defense, all with a smile. Apparently you also lie with a smile on your face.
Hold it!
Yes? What did you say from there?
Objection!
Mr. Nero. What is it? What is with the yelling all of a sudden? What does it happen? What does it matter? Mr. Nero. You said you saw the murder weapon with dripping with blood, correct? Yes, all that blood drip. Just recalling that since it's a chill in my spine. Sorry, but your so-called professional flight attendant training has failed you. What? I'd like to direct your attention to this. Do you know what this is? It's a travel wallet, right? But it looks a little big and bulky. The thing you saw me holding when I discovered the dead body in the elevator was this very travel wallet, Mr. Nero. What? Impossible. But then, do you still think I'm the killer? That I killed him with a travel wallet? I saw blood dripping from the wallet, I know I did. As you can see, this wallet is clearly stained. But if you would be so kind as to take a whiff, I think you'd agree it's only grape juice. That's right, you mistook grape juice for blood. The murder weapon dripping with blood does not, in fact, exist. Wait just a second. That is. I mean, even a wallet could be deadly if it wrote around something heavy. Certainly she tacked on police at the end. It's not like I've got her. There's no need to look inside. Even you can tell from the appearance that it's light. We're into passengers' belongings, but we don't have a choice here. This is a passenger. Virginia. It seems that this passport is all that's in here. This renders your wallet as the meter as an argument moot. Wouldn't you agree? Please hear me out, Mr. Edgeworth. What is it now? Well, I was wondering, whose passport is it exactly? Can I take a look? Why not? I'm rather curious myself. This is... just as I thought. This travel wallet belonged to Mr. B. Hicks. Which makes it the victim's property. You stole the victim's wallet, didn't you? How dare you? You said it yourself. You claimed to be holding this wallet in your hand when I found you. Perhaps I did misconstrue the wallet was the murder weapon, but it seems that I wasn't wrong about who the culprit is. Mr. Nero's wallet. As you claim, the murder weapon is not the travel wallet. However, it is something you stole from Mr. Hicks when you were done with the foul deed. I find it hard to believe myself, but your motive was very simple. You were about to steal Mr. Hicks' money, weren't you? So even though I didn't have the murder weapon on me, you still suspect me, I see. You stood up at the crime scene with the victim's wallet in your hand. How can I turn a blind eye and not suspect you of foul play? As you claim, the murder weapon is not the travel wallet. However, it is something you stole from Mr. Hicks after you're done with a foul deed.
Hold it!
Not at all. Why not? What I thought it was. Oh, it is.
Hold it!
I think I stole it. I'm very sorry to say, but I wouldn't usually be so rude if I must, but it must be said. Never thought I'd see the day, but here I'm calling a passenger a thief. Maybe I should put a serious face and say it more directly. I believe you removed the wallet from the victim's personage. It really doesn't matter how you phrase it. What I'd like to know is why you think I stole Mr. Hicks' wallet.
Hold it!
You think I was after his money? Where did that cockamamie idea come from? True, you are a passenger in first class, but I thought something was off about you and those deeply etched lines on your forehead. They're not lines, they're perfectly normal, they're part of natural face. I don't think I've ever met someone with such a terrible countenance in a flight before. That's when it hit me. You have the face of someone with money trouble. I should spare her and present the piece of evidence contradicts testimony. Yeah, but the wallet's empty.
Objection!
I wonder if I might get a word in, Mr. Nero. What is it now? Mr. Nero. I wonder if you notice a contradiction within your own testimony. What are you talking about? Simply put, as you saw with your own eyes. The only thing inside Mr. Hicks' wallet was his passport. If I really was after his money, then why would I steal a penniless travel wallet? That's right, Mr. Edgeworth. You didn't know it was empty when you stole it. I'd like to think that, but it's not possible. What do you mean it's not possible? There's no way the killer didn't know that the wallet was empty to begin with. How can I show her that the killer knew the wallet was to be empty from the get-go?
Take that!
If you would recall the crime scene, I admit that the wallet was probably not empty at the time of murder. That's pretty evident by the bills and cards strewn around the inside of the elevator. Oh no. You've come to realize the problem with your logic. Let's surmise that the victim's wallet fell out during their struggle, and that's when its content emptied onto the floor of the elevator. Another killer could have missed such an occurrence. And you're saying yes, according to your supposition, if I were the killer, I would have been going after a wallet I knew to be empty. As I clearly was not attempting to gather the scattered money. It renders your argument of theft completely invalid. Forgive me, please. So that guy isn't the killer? Don't believe it, everyone, it's a trick. Mr. Arrow, yes? You lost your cool when you saw the dead body. Plus the lounge was dark and looking into the light from the elevator. Since you said you mistook my wallet, the wallet in my hand for the murder weapon, I take no offense that you thought that was the killer. Thank you for releasing me. What the fuck? Why is there a Kamehameha? What is it now? Jesus. Sounds like Burgundian, but I don't understand. But I don't understand any of it. There's another attendant on this flight who I said that he is giving the runabout. I don't require an interpreter. I speak English just well, see? You, the attendant. Yes, sir. This person to be under arrest until we arrive at the airport. I'm sorry, but what exactly are you hoping for? What is it you want? I've finished talking to the likes of you. Please, I would like to hear what you would like me to be held under arrest until we learn. There you tried to waste my time. You were the one who stuck your nose into my affairs. I need to spend even at least one more second with my precious art. No time for other things. I know what you are. I see through you. Insolvent, yes. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it in English. I should hope I'm not monetarily bankrupt, but I don't think that's what you meant. Zinc Leblanc II. I'm a very wealthy man in the Borginia. Well, I'm not an ordinary rich man. I'm an art dealer, a rich seller of beauty. Mr. Leblanc, what did you mean by that? Pardon? And when you said Mr. Edgeworth was giving me the runabout. I have to explain? Unbelievable. I will say it once and once, only once. Do not have even a second to waste time. Yeah. I saw it. Yes, I did. I saw the victim go onto the elevator, going down to the lounge. It was exactly 6 o'clock. And was the significance at that time? At 6, he says. Hicks was his name, was it? When I say that meant Hicks was killed in a 15-minute time span. The other passengers have an alibi, so I have no problem with them, I suppose. No way discounting what you have, but it wasn't me. Oh, so you say we have what you say evidence. I suppose you're quite certain what you saw. I know to give testimony. Of course, I am looking at the man the whole time. He was playing with that annoying little small machine the whole time. Machine? That's what you call it in English, right? It was making me crazy with the click click click. Some sort of small computer. A laptop organizer I can see, but that's kind of low budget. A fragment of beauty. All it produces ugly sounds. Anyway, I know what I saw. Mr. Nero, yes? I was wondering if I might be granted permission to examine the crime scene. What? You want to examine the crime scene? If you would grant me a little measure of time, I'm sure I can produce the real culprit. I don't like the sound of that. Fox in the duck pen. Yes, I think that's how you say it in English. It's fox guarding the hen house. I'm kind of losing my voice. I'm not used to speaking this much. But I am invested in the case. Give me a second. And if I'm given the chance, I can clear up all the remaining doubts. I've been destroyed by that. Understand, let me see what the captain has to say. It should not be approved. In an emergency, all decisions are being made by the captain alone. You're not planning on to erase evidence when you're doing your investigation, yes? Of course not. Ah, well, we'll see. And your debt, Mr. Nero. There's one condition. I have to supervise you. Can you agree to that? Of course. I see no problem with that stipulation. So I'm not sure that I am still a suspect in this case. Take full responsibility and will watch Mr. Edgeworth's every move. Hope this reassurance enough. I hope this is reassurance enough that there will be no foul play. Now, Mr. Edgeworth, shall we proceed? If you should need my help with anything, please feel free to use Y to talk. Phrase of foul. So Blanc seems to be sorry. Seems to be protecting the gargantuan vase on the chair rather closely. It's a marvelous vase though, isn't it? Yes, I dare say as a professional flight attendant. I don't think there's any real connection between a piece of art and being intended. And I'm not just any old attendant. I'm a professional flight attendant. Hello. You there. You on? You need something, please ask Mrs. Rhoda over there, okay? What the heck? Wake up, you. For with her boss. It was cut so loud that it was in the red. My FPS are dropping hard in this plane, goddamn. Don't get near me, you criminal. What's a lifesavers in here? Why would a flight shop just be on the lounge? Same thing should happen. Having one would save your life. This guy would have been better off not taking the plane to begin with. That's my seat. Unfortunately, I didn't bring anything particularly useful for an investigation. It's not as if I'm constantly preparing for such a thing to occur. Ah, that's right. I was in the middle of recreating a chess game. Just an observation, but aren't there too many red knights around that lone blue pawn? Nonsense. It simply shows that the blue pawn is no match for the red knight's might. Hey, miss. How about another glass? Excuse me, I was wondering if you know anything about the murder. How about it? How about a glass together? I'm sorry, but I must decline. Just asking the cute attendant. But if I need a refill, I'd be happy to bring you another glass at any time. You got it, Toots? No, it's a miracle. They made it through turbulence without a scratch. Actually, we asked the drink vendor to clean up all the ones that did break earlier. You mean to tell me he put all these up after the turbulence? I don't think anyone should drink this much. There's overhydration. Stick is awesome. I was here the whole time, I wouldn't know. Read or speak. Okay. I want to thank you for your help back there, Mr. Nero. It's nothing. You should thank the captain for granting your permission. And just so everything is perfectly clear, I still don't trust you. Your standing with me hasn't changed one iota. I see. I will bear that in mind. I received an order of the captain earlier. He wanted you to know that. We reserve the right to stop your investigation if we feel you are not making progress. And when we do, he asks that you please return to your seat at that time. So my time runs out at his and his crew's discretion, does it? I have to find a way to discredit Mr. LeBlanc's testimony before it time's up. Understand. By the way, is there any place you can think of where the killer might hide on board? I don't think so. After every first-class passenger was accounted for at his or her seat, we made a thorough search of the plane. As for business and economy class, no one can move between those two classes and first class without a staff keycard, and we found no record of a keycard being used at all. Which means I have first class killer in my hands. At least I know that much for sure. And one other thing. No one else has been allowed near this crime scene since the murder was discovered earlier either. Since the murder was discovered either. Now then, let's get started. Where should we start from? Let's start with Mr. LeBlanc's statement. The crime occurred between 6 a.m. and 6:15 a.m. During that interval, the only person in the lounge was myself, which would make me the prime suspect. However, I did not kill Mr. Hicks. It means that the killer was around somewhere. If we're to believe what you say is true, then yes. If his order of business would be to gather information to win your trust. Bye. I want to go back up. What's in here? Flight attendant's room. This room is giving out the scent of women's perfume. One would think that perfume would smell great, however, to me, it just simply smells. I don't have any interest in what lies behind this door. Part of me thinks this is a great place to stop. And I will. I'm kind of starting to lose my voice and I'm starting to get hungry, so I think it's a great place to start. Okay, let's save and quit. That was fun. I'll try to continue soon. I don't know which day yet because I don't have a schedule. Yeah. So let's save. And yeah, game's quitting. So like I said last stream, all of the VODs are on my YouTube channel at Catalyst Solo. No, I think it's just Catalyst. Oh, not yet. I linked it at the. If you're watching on Twitch, I linked it in my about section. So yeah, I'll try to aim for the next stream to be under a week. Maybe start at around 2-3 p.m. All right. See you next time.